I know we talked about smut books. Do you have a non-favorite smut book of the year, Sabrina?
Oh, I didn't read not smut books this year.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, BBs. It is too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And it's the week of the year, BBs. I don't know if you caught it.
It's the final day of the week of the year.
It's the final day of the week of the year.
It's not technically the final week of the year yet, but it is the week of the year and the final day of it.
These things are all true.
All of these things can be true. Hi, everyone. It's very good to see you. Today we are talking about just our favorite everything else. We did games on Monday. On Wednesday, we did our TV and movie stuff that we liked. And now it's just like, man, what got you through a year?
Yeah, love is a concept, and it cannot be represented by physical objects or things, but we are going to do that anyway today.
Yeah.
We're going to take our love and we're going to distill it down into materialism mostly. And so that's good.
Yeah.
And we love that for us and for our emotional state and for what it means for society. It's going to be a good time, I think.
You made it sound like a pretty bad time, but what guarantees that it's going to be a good time is that we have a lovely guest joining us.
Oh, if you could make materialism sound like a bad thing, don't you think we would have by now? If you could make materialism be awful to people, don't you think we would have?
Honestly, we'll circle back on that, guaranteed. But on the internet, you probably know her as Abelina Sabrina. Let's go ahead and grab our guest, shall we?
Let's
Let's do it.
Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning. And materialism, isn't that what this holiday season is all about?
It's the reason for the season. Yes.
It's unfortunately the exact reason for this season. And the reason I find this season so tiring is where I'm at this year. It's very interesting. I've been talking about this on the internet a lot. Usually, even as simultaneously a Jew and an anti-capitalist, I'm still like, yeah, Christmas though. Christmas is fun.
You're one more thing away from being a great setup to a joke.
A Jew and anti-capitalist and somebody join me. So usually I'm still like, yeah, but Christmas is fun. And I have a niece and a nephew. So I'm like, I was able to be like, as an adult, this is why Christmas is still fun. Man, this year I'm just tired.
Very tired.
Yeah.
Just tired.
Very tired.
It's a tiring holiday season. I think a lot of people are finally especially last year, people got to travel again a little bit for the holidays. And now it's almost as if a pandemic never happened for some people. And sure enough, people are just getting sick again because everybody's just out there and it's just so tiring.
That's the thing I think it's just the whiplash from this is a terrible thing. This is maybe the worst couple of years the world has had in a very long time. And then it's and now it's gone. Does everybody want to go back to everything normal? And it's oh, okay. Well, I've been told in therapy that we're not supposed to do this.
Yeah. So honorable mention for 2022 vaccination boosters.
Oh, so good.
It's not technically on the list here, but I'm just gonna say an honorable mention for best things of 2022 should be getting your booster shot.
Mm-hmm. When you go home over the next couple days, if you're the sort of person who's going home, who's celebrating the holidays with your friends and family, may we suggest masks as stocking stuffers? And if it's going to cause a thing in your family, that's even better.
Ooh. Another honorable mention, starting shit on Christmas. I'm always ready to throw hands on Christmas. Same.
I'm always ready to throw hands on Christmas.
Same.
But then, once you throw hands, do you stay there and just kind of simmer in it and all the anger and the tension? Or
yeah, we're Jewish. Yeah, we're Jewish. You have a big fight and then you sit there and you seethe for a week.
You have a big dinner.
Yeah, and then you all eat about it.
Yeah.
You all eat a lot about it.
But the last couple of years, though, no. I show up, I start shit, I drop off the best presents the kids are going to get that year, and I leave. I just disappear.
She actually throws down a smoke bomb.
Yeah, my best friend calls it, just every time that I have to go to my family's house to go see my niece and nephew, my best friend says, go make a core memory and get out of there. Go make a core memory for those kids. Get the fuck out of there. You just did
some family holiday stuff, didn't you? Or did you?
Yeah, very wholesome stuff for the whole family. I I dressed up as the Grinch recently, and actually my little niece, who is over in Mexico, she doesn't speak English, she doesn't understand what's going on with the Grinch. She saw my pictures. Yep, there it is. She saw my pictures, and she was asking if the Grinch turned me into a Grinch so that I could be his girlfriend.
Oh.
Isn't that the cutest little lore?
That's adorable. How do you answer that?
I just said yes.
Yeah, you just go with it.
What I love about this is you did not like do a Leg Avenue Grinch. You did not cheap out on this at all.
When you say Leg Avenue, I think technically that costume is, but like
The Grinch isn't.
It fit in a way. We threw it together in a way that it wasn't super duper hoochie, and that's fine. Believe me, I love a hoochie mama Grinch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm very happy with the way that ours came out with me and my friend Sofia Lafrasia, who did my special effects makeup for 5 hours. 5 hours we put that shit together, and it was awesome and worth it.
That is a huge commitment, and we love to see it.
You have a lot of sexual tension with the Grinch at Universal Studios. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I like his fashion sense. I like that he just kind of like Winnie the Pooh's it, you know, like all top, no bottom.
Donald Duck in it.
He's just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say like he's asking for it, but he's giving me looks.
He's sending signals. I think that's fair.
I'm picking him up.
I think that's absolutely fair. All right. Well, aside from the Grinch being pantsless, we do have some favorite things of the year. But I think that's actually probably a great place to start from what we know to be one of yours. Let's get into it. Let's really that's number one, right?
What? The Grinch?
Mm-hmm.
For Sabrina's first favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
How did this happen and why is this year?
Well, you know what? Not to toot my own horn, but I swear, last year, even before December, shortly after Halloween, I was already tweeting sexy, I'm gonna fuck the Grinch stuff. And that wasn't as poppin' back then. And I remember those tweets did pretty well. And then we saw a little bit of Grinch sexualization last Christmas. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as much, but it stood out. But this year, holy moly, sexy Grinch fucking everywhere. And maybe I just see it everywhere because everybody tags me in sexy Grinch content now. But I mean, you guys see more sexy Grinch stuff in general now.
I would say previously it was 0, so I definitely see more this year.
Yeah, I would say.
But I also follow you.
Yeah, I was going to say it went from a 0 to a non-zero for sure.
Absolutely.
But I want to say it's mostly your stuff that I see. Though there's that one really good TikTok or series of TikToks where the Grinch is in the platforms.
Oh, is the pole dancing Grinch?
The pole dancing Grinch.
Yeah.
That's a big, I think honestly, Sabrina, it's probably you and pole dancing Grinch are on the vanguard of this movement.
I think that Sabrina walked so that pole dancing Grinch could run.
So the pole dancing Grinch could do a flying death drop.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I really love what this has become. This has really been the winter of the Grinch. And I'm so surprised. My timeline is all Grinch. I don't know how you're not seeing it.
It's not all Grinch. That's the algorithm doing its thing for you.
Oh.
Yeah, that just means the algorithm is doing what it should for you. I'm trying to find the exact pole dancing Grinch that we're talking about, but honestly, Sabrina, now that I look up pole dancing Grinch, you're right. There's a lot of pole dancing Grinch, and it's not just the one that I know of. Where do I go? Thank you. There's a lot of pole dancing Grinch here. Pole dancing Grinch steals Christmas. There's just Grinch on a pole.
And you know what? None of those were there a year ago. I guarantee it. All of those have been within the last year. I don't like that.
No, this one I don't like. That one I don't like.
I'm going back to the cameras, Anthony.
That one I don't like.
What the fuck?
I really hate the whole like, because some of like the sexy Grinch stuff, like people will do photo shoots, like it'll be a Grinch and then like a Cindy Lou Who, and I don't like that pairing, especially when they're trying to be sexy. Like do Grinch and Martha May.
Yeah, you can have Martha May,
icon.
But
not Cindy.
Because goddamn, Martha May,
Christine Baranski.
Oh,
Martha May, everybody.
Christmas.
Christine Baranski in anything is amazing.
Goodness.
Is amazing. Yeah, so the Grinch, so does the Grinch at Universal know you now?
I went and I gave him a present and he liked it. So I'd like to think that I stand out now. I gave him,
we have a way to find this out, Anthony.
Oh, we do.
Okay, one of our dear friends and friends of the channel is somebody who works as like one of the character escorts at Universal Studios Hollywood. We have a friend that like they are in charge of. I go and I walk the person around and make sure that they are safe while they take pictures with people.
The Wrangler.
I can almost guarantee they've walked the Grinch around.
Oh, totally.
And if they haven't, they know the person who does.
I have another friend who's trapped in Harry Potter jail at the Wand Show. We know characters. We know characters.
Yeah.
We should find. Is there a message that you'd like to get to the Grinch?
Whenever Grinchmas is over, my door is open.
All right. Yeah.
Fair.
If everybody here, somebody just take a quick clip of that so that I can pass it along, and then
clip that.
clip it. We'll make sure to get that to some of our friends at Universal, and we'll follow up on this lead later.
So we got an interesting question from the live studio audience before we move on to our next thing that I love. SZH21 says, "What's the definitive Grinch movie? Original animated, live action, or Cumberbatch CGI?"
Jim Carrey live action, hands down.
Interesting.
That's the only one I want to bang.
Yeah.
That's the tier system.
That was your awakening.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, as an adult, yes. My awakening when I was much a younger little lady was Bernard from the Santa Claus.
Oh, Krumholtz. You're into David Krumholtz, or just as Bernard?
No, just as Bernard.
Just as Bernard. Because he was
Maybe
in
that
every
Christmas
movie.
thing.
And it's very different to have a crush on a character versus an actor.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Totally.
Have you watched the new Santa Claus? He's in it, and he's still Bernard.
There's a new Santa Claus?
It's a series on Disney Plus.
And that's the end of this portion, everybody.
Okay, well, I know what I'm doing after this then.
Krumholtz. Amazing.
Should we pull up a picture of Crumb?
Yeah, I'll pull up a picture of David Krumholtz.
Have you heard of Crackhead Barney?
How I feel about what?
Have you heard of Crackhead Barney?
No. I definitely haven't.
So he reprises his role as an elf in a very short episode of Crackhead Barney. I think it's only a minute or two long. It's very magical and full of holiday cheer. I think it's exactly what the fans have been wanting from him all these years. I highly recommend.
Is deeply concerning.
I do like it when an actor knows what they're sort of known for and like plays against that. I mean, look, if you go back to him, he's got a very like
look at him.
Jewish liberal arts.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
I'm in the frat.
Let's see him grown. Let's see him in the new movie. Show me 2020. When did this Santa Claus?
I don't know that you want to. Do you want to do that?
No.
We can do it. We can do it. Here.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay. I can do it. Here's
just a photo of him getting his wig on.
Yeah,
this is photo.
This is Krumholtz returning for the Santa Claus. Where's the image? There we go.
Okay.
Smash.
There you go.
It's like he's come back to be a professor at the same liberal arts school.
Yeah, great.
You know?
Hey, that's every season of Riverdale.
That is every season of Riverdale.
Everyone who comes through has to come back as a teacher.
So there you go, Krumholtz. He had a very like 90s nerd sex appeal thing, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially with the ringlets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the ringlets were a moment.
The ringlets were definitely a thing, like a 90s thing.
He's reprised his role better as an elf, I think. With Crackhead Barney, it's only a minute long. Can I show you guys a little something? And I think you would understand the sex appeal thing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm frightened.
Okay. I'm gonna send it to you, Anthony, in a Twitter DM.
Let me just go ahead and vet
it's
this
on-
really
it's on-
quick before we just play it live on the internet.
Oh my God, yes. Well.
Let me go ahead and vet this and make sure this doesn't just, break terms of service.
Oh no, I don't like the
no.
title. I don't like the title.
I didn't. Oh.
I don't like the,
we can't play that.
I don't like the title, but what I can do is I can find the image for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
that's fair.
definitively cannot play that. And you know what? Hey, BBs?
Oh, he doesn't say it.
No, he would never.
There they are. Look at him.
It's a better look, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does him more justice. I think that's a very fair assessment.
Yes.
Is that
And that's not
donkey?
wrong, though.
Was that donkey?
I think that's supposed to be Max.
Oh, yeah, but it's definitely like a donkey that they've turned into Max.
It's definitively a donkey.
It's Sven from.
Oh, that's Sven.
Wow, they're really
Frozen.
hitting everything. They said every holiday property, and I love that for them.
Sven. I forget about Frozen
Yeah?
How?
because I think there aren't enough children in my life. So Frozen
argue
just
it's
kind of
enough.
like disappears.
I'd argue that's enough children.
That's what I have like nieces and nephews and stuff, and every time I talk to them, I'm reminded that Frozen is a thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that Frozen is like the thing.
So they are still obsessed with it.
Yeah, but I do not recall Frozen most times.
Yeah. I never saw the second one.
Oh, it's so good.
I like
It's
that reaction.
It matured with the audience a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, she does a murder.
I'm in. I did just unlock Elsa in Disney Dreamlight Valley.
There you
though.
go. She does a murder with an icicle, and so nobody can catch her because it
Yeah.
melts.
Right. You'll
And
never find the
there's no evidence.
Have you played Disney Dreamlight Valley? It's fantastic. It's great. It's a very good game. It's farming meets it's an Animal Crossing essentially. And it's a very good time, and you just unlock more Disney characters and get them to live in your little village.
And Mickey killed his wife.
And Mickey murdered Minnie Mouse.
That's
That's
pretty
canon.
kinky of him.
But you can just invite Elsa to come along when you're farming and be like, you want to hang out with me while I go into the mines and
And
get some gemstones?
freeze
Hey,
my
do you
crops?
wanna-
I don't think so.
Do you want to play? Hey, Elsa, do you want to be lookout while I go check Mickey's basement for evidence?
Yeah.
Is what you do in Dreamlight Valley?
It's awesome.
It
You know
is.
what? As somebody who used to work as and for the mouse, I will tell you that underneath Mickey Mouse's house, in his basement, if you will, there's at least 20 to 30 heads nailed to a wall.
Yep. That's real.
Correct. All right.
That's real.
Yep. I mean, and you can take them off and, wear his flesh on your flesh.
Fine.
But yeah, there's about 20 or 30.
20 or 30. That's more than I had on my bingo card.
That's about what I pictured.
Yeah, you pictured 20 to 30?
That's about what I
All right.
pictured. That seems about right. So Grinchmas is the first favorite thing of the year.
Yeah. You wanna
Saige?
go next?
No.
No?
What is your first favorite thing of the year, Saige?
My first favorite thing of this year is the 5 p.m. dog parade at the park.
Oh yeah.
It's if you go to, and this is particularly at my local park, but I've found that 5 p.m. at any park near or in a neighborhood, there is a 5 p.m. between 5 and 5:30. People getting off work, taking their dog out, especially all the work from home people because they don't have to commute. And there's just a parade of dogs. So I just go and I take a little blanket and I sit in the park or I do a little walk around the path. And I just enjoy everyone else having dogs. I don't have a dog, so I enjoy Anthony's dog and I enjoy the park people's dogs.
Oh man. There's nothing better than when all the little ones are out.
Yeah.
all the little ones, because the park by my place is not officially a dog park, but kind of like in the afternoon, when no one's watching.
But at like
5 p.m., it becomes
all parks are dog parks.
It becomes a dog meeting. It becomes a very serious dog meeting of the tiny ones.
Yeah.
And
everyone's getting that last sliver of daylight right now. They're taking their dog to the park while there's still like a tiny bit of daylight left. And you just sit down and all the dogs come to you. It's incredible. People will bring out, they have those big like contraptions for throwing them further because there's some incredibly athletic dogs in my neighborhood. And I just get to watch them.
They're throwing the dogs?
They're not throwing the
oh my God.
the tennis, it's like just like a tennis ball. It's for a toy. It's for like a tennis ball thing. I realize I keep leaning away from the mic when I say it to do the action of it all. But there's some impressively athletic dogs in my neighborhood. And you know what? That's kept me going for the last couple of months.
Yeah. I do love. There's in my building. There's a lot of tiny dogs.
Yeah.
And for a very long time in my building, one of the elevators was broken. Which sucked because it meant it took like 10 minutes to get out of the building.
Right.
But it ruled because all the dog owners, we all met each other, and all of our dogs were in the elevator at once, and it was just like elevator full of dogs.
My favorite movie.
It was the best. Disney's Elevator for Dogs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're gonna run an elevator, but it's just for dogs, and don't let the grown-ups find out. Everybody, this is a business idea, and they never really thought about it.
And they all got along in the elevator?
So there's another look, I'm just gonna turn into crotchety old man here, but like people just don't train or socialize their dogs the right way. And I'll tell you this, especially in my building for whatever reason. And so there are a lot of dogs that just like, if there is another dog, even it's like throw hands on sight. There are a couple just bad dogs.
And, Dagger is also a very sensitive boy. Dagger doesn't particularly like other dogs.
No.
He's not like mean to other dogs. He would just prefer to be away from them.
Yes.
Dagger needs his space. Dagger isn't, he doesn't recognize himself as one of those dogs.
No, he's people's.
He just responds more like a cat does.
No, I totally get that. That's how my dog Eva is. Like, she grew up with cats, so she's very solo on her own. I will say, and Anthony, you might not like this, but I encourage her and applaud her when she barks at the door. Not at strangers, but like at the door, because she's a great alarm system. Because, homes that have dogs in them, regardless of the size, are significantly less likely to get broken into because you got a little alarm system.
Yeah.
And also because Dagger is a master of hand-to-hand combat.
I mean, with a name like Dagger, he must be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Think about it.
Do you want to see his muscles?
Somebody's coming by your door, and the dog starts barking, and you say, Dagger! They haven't seen the dog yet. These people are leaving. You know what I mean? You yell Dagger, they think they're getting into something.
Dagger, show. Yeah, he's throwing punches.
Oh, well, hold on now.
The most delicate.
He does. He likes to
allow
fold.
me to show you my muscles.
He likes to fold his hands. All done.
Come to me. Wait, they gotta meet each other.
He can. Yeah.
Come, my son. Come with me. They're just like, it's okay. It's okay. There we go.
And there's Eva.
Say hi to Eva.
Eva.
What do you think?
She's like you.
Yeah, a little clap. Thank you. Gave one small clap for Eva.
There he is.
There we go.
The best producer in the business right
And
here.
we got a dog yawn.
Oh, she's so sleepy.
Ugh. We love it.
Okay, I'll put you back to bed. I'm sorry I disturbed your sleep. Let me put her down.
So that is my first.
That's your first thing.
That's my first favorite of the year.
I think
Look.
When it came to my mental health
No.
preservation,
They're
that's
15
number
seconds.
one.
Yeah.
It's not what all these categories are, but for mental health preservation, simply observing. It's just, I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't gone and sat at a park at exactly 5 p.m., particularly 5 p.m. this time of year, get out there, man. Go enjoy. And it's also just nice. People are happy while they're doing it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not gonna, like, if you're depressed or something, it's not gonna cure your depression and whatnot, but it does help you feel a little bit better because your dogs force you to go outside, you know?
Yeah. And as someone with clinical depression and no dog, so no one's forcing me to go outside, and sometimes it's been a week and a half and I haven't gone outside, man, tethered purely by someone else's dog.
Yeah. Dagger has definitely been excellent for my mental health over the last. He's going to go eat cat food. No, he can't. We blocked it.
Yeah.
We blocked it. Sage has 2 cats.
Oh.
And Dagger has to eat very special food because he's a very special boy with very special health problems. And so he tries to sneak any other kind of food whenever he can. And he will eat all of the cat food for 2 cats while we're here.
Yeah. And my cats are on a special fancy food because they're massive. So I recently was like, okay, I also put them on a timed feeder to be like, I don't want to limit the amount of food you eat. I'm not trying to diet my cats, but I am like, this might be getting out of hand. They're big. They're big children. So we're just going a little more of like, hey, let's just start letting the food not be endless. The food doesn't have to be infinite. And they're not.
That's
Counterpoint. Infinite food.
You know, Ghost keeps saying that, and so far, not so good.
Not so good.
Like, doing those little things are really what's going to make the difference in like the length of your fur baby's life, you know, like going that extra mile for like their feeder, giving them that higher quality food. I mean, like this little lady, we did a food allergy test, and she has like a mild sensitivity to like chicken, beef, like the main things.
Yeah.
So she eats bison.
Very fancy.
Funny how evolution got us here. This little itty bitty salchicha of a baby is eating a whole ass bison.
No, that's amazing because it's right back to hunting on the plains. Can you imagine little Eva running on the plains?
After a bison?
Eva and Dagger chasing a bison.
They could do it. Go look for that heart.
If I ever learned how to do 3D animation, one of the first things I would want to do is an animation of prehistoric Pomeranians. Just the same, they look just like Dagger, but they have giant fangs, and they're all stampeding like the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park.
I love that. I would like to see that. Let's put you in art school and get it done.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Mom, Dad, Sabrina said it. Let's put me in art school. Maybe my life would have gone a different way, Mom and Dad.
Anthony, a trade school's more useful.
Art is a trade. It's no different. We got to move on.
We're working through some things here live today.
We've got to move on.
Really excellent. Anthony, what's your first favorite of the year?
My first favorite of the year is an album, actually.
Oh,
It is my favorite album of 2022, and it is Montaigne's Making It. You have heard the single off of this album 87,000 times in my car.
Yeah, guaranteed.
I found out about Montaigne. They are an artist from Australia, and I couldn't find large album art.
That's okay. We can't play it anyway.
We can't really.
We'll immediately get the NCA strike.
We can't really play it, but it's such a great album. The reason I found out about it is because they have 2 songs on the album with David Byrne. It just like popped up out of nowhere, and I'm a huge Talking Heads guy, and I'm a huge David Byrne guy. I always have been. And so I was like, well, if David Byrne shows up in something, it usually means it's pretty dope, or at least weird in a way that I can enjoy. And I went and I listened to the song, and it's unbelievable. It's this amazing hyperpop album with like everything is incredibly sad and introspective, but set to hyperpop, which is exactly my thing.
Yeah.
I listened to 3 things. I listened to Tweemo, I listened to shoegaze music, and then I listened to hyperpop. And
What are these words? I don't know this genre, and I've never heard this combination of words.
Tweemo is like, it's the same stuff that was out. Like, you listen to the Strokes and stuff. Like that's your big thing. It's the music that was out in the early 2000s that was like at the same time, but it was like much more like Belle and Sebastian, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
a combination of twee and emo.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but this is a very hyper pop album, and I really love this. And when I listen to their older stuff, it's interesting because they're an amazing songwriter, and their first two albums are very like, they're more in the vein of like a Saint Vincent or a Marina and the Diamonds, where it's like
Marina.
where it's like dramatic production and very like the lyrics are the center of it. It's very storytelling. It almost also goes back to like Tori Amos, like Ani DeFranco, like that sort of thing. But this album was just like, yo, they said, I'm making a computer album. I've never made a computer album. I'm making a computer album that still sounds warm. And everybody was like, that's hyperpop. And they were like, whatever you want to call it. But there are two songs on there with David Byrne, and they are the sweetest, cutest songs I've ever heard in my life. The entire album is wonderful, and it's just made me so happy all year long. So everybody go listen to the Montaigne album. They also stream. And they did a lot of like the writing and the initial production of the album on stream.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're very good. They're wonderful. Go check them out. So that's my first thing.
Also, really quick, I don't know if you guys notice this or if you normally like call these out, but somebody tipped you guys like $100.
Whoa!
So, yes, we go through at the end of the show and we thank everybody for everything they did during the show. But thank you very much.
Yeah.
We have like a little roll call. This is perfect. Thank you. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
So we'll go through and we'll do like all the names and everything everybody did at the end of the show. But we were very appreciative. So if you are doing things like supporting us during the show so that we can eat after the show, which is very cool of you.
Oh, that's what that says. Sugar breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, is that what that is? Oh.
Yeah, that's our sugar breakfast. It's so that we can get donuts mostly, or pay for real food and not just survive off of donuts.
I'll survive off a donut though.
I won't.
No.
I distinctly will not.
You will
very
absolutely not.
specifically won't.
But what about like those big fat pink donuts from Universal, like the Simpsons donut? That's like this big.
Now, it's enough donut. The problem for me is I have hypoglycemia, which means my blood sugar regulation just simply doesn't work. It was made all wrong, and mine doesn't do it. So, for a minute, I'll be fucking thriving on that donut. I will be absolutely just thriving. And then within an hour, I will simply pass away.
Okay, well,
She will become a ghost, and she will haunt the donut baker
Yeah.
till their end of days.
Yes.
And that will be the end of it.
what a great place to haunt, though. A little donut shop.
Yeah, so true.
What do you think? What's the best donut in LA, do you think?
SK Donuts on Beverly. It's by the Tar Pits.
Oh, I know that one.
Fancy donuts. Huh?
Yeah. That's a good one.
I've not been there. I'm just going to keep a tab open on that.
What I love
think
is
Voodoo
everybody.
Donuts is a little overrated.
Okay.
Who's overrated?
Voodoo.
Yeah.
No, Voodoo is.
They're
I don't like
aesthetically
Voodoo.
very
They're
fun.
They're cool.
They're cool looking.
Yeah.
If you go to the actual Voodoo
In Portland.
in Portland, they tend to make their donuts more like fresher, and so they tend to be better. The ones at Universal are like, they were specially asked to open at Universal.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where like they ship the stuff in, or they get the donuts from like a bakery that like was just sent sort of how to do it from Voodoo Donuts. And I think that's why they're not as good. And also, never wait in line for 20 minutes for a donut.
No.
That's too long of a wait for a donut.
That's too long a wait for a
Too long
donut.
a wait.
A donut should cost $1 and you should get it instantly. You know? Although I will say my favorite donut does cost a couple dollars a donut.
Whoa.
You know.
Is it Trejo's?
It is Trejo's. It used to be
Oh.
Trejo's makes good donut?
Trejo's
We
is
love Danny
unbelievable.
Trejo.
Unbelievable.
They're not my favorite.
They make a good latte too, which like a lot of donut places have coffee.
Yeah.
But it's not great. But Trejo's also makes very good coffee. Now you don't like Trejo's.
They're fine.
Yeah.
I think they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I honestly don't want a fancy donut. I want to go into like a little hole in the wall donut shop that has like the exact same donuts as all the other places in the area, but you can hear them making them in the background. So you're just like, damn, you did make these, but they look the exact same. Where they also sell like children's toys, and then they also sell like vape packs and
Yes.
Like a gas station.
a bunch of lighters, like one of those little like hole in the wall donut shops where clearly like they can't make their income just off donuts.
See, in New York, those were always connected to a Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
Because they would use the same fryers and stuff. And it's kind of like, that was something that like, even in the beginning of Chinatown, and when Chinese immigrants started coming into New York, and people weren't ready for Chinese food yet, they would make donuts because they also have like a type of donut over there,
right?
And so they made donuts, and like those are now like the best hole in the wall donut places in New York. I haven't figured out how to tell a good hole in the wall donut place from a bad one in LA.
A donut hole, if you will.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to do it because they're all kind of they're all in like strip malls.
Yeah.
They all kind of look the same. They all kind of feel the same. Some of them have boba. I feel like that's one you want to stay away from because they're trying to do too much.
No. If they have boba and donuts, that's the one you do want to go to.
Really?
I think I'm with Sabrina on this, actually.
Especially if they make like random bagel breakfast sandwiches too.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
The random bagel breakfast sandwich is exactly where it's at. There was a place across the street from my old apartment that I used to walk to almost every day, and it was a donut shop primarily. And then they had teriyaki, like according to the sign, they had teriyaki, burgers, salads.
Yeah.
They had breakfast that was just like American breakfast, and then they had, I believe, occasionally they would also have sushi.
Whoa, no, that's too much.
The sushi
that's
is where
too
it
much.
gets very questionable. And the sign looked like a White Castle sign, like an imitation of a White Castle sign. It was incredibly specific. Place owned, honestly.
And you know that places like that, they always have the good ice. You know, like the crushed ice.
Do.
Always.
Crushed ice is the good ice.
Yeah. It's like the small, like pellety ice.
No, I know, but for y'all, that's the good ice.
Oh, that's absolutely the good ice. What's the good ice for you?
Oh, I like a good clean cube.
You can't crunch that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I do have to get a crown. I do have to go in for a crown, but you can absolutely crunch a good cube. I should stop.
Yeah, you should try the good ice.
Yeah.
What is your favorite donut?
Probably have an iron deficiency, Anthony.
Listen, it would not be my only deficiency, and it would not be
side effect of craving ice.
The only one that I ignore.
Yeah. A lot of the time, people, when they're iron deficient, will either crave to eat ice or dirt.
That's why I'm eating dirt.
That's also why you're eating dirt.
Oh. What's your favorite donut in LA?
What is my favorite donut in LA? I'm not gonna lie, Fonuts is up there.
Fonuts is good.
I love a Fonut.
Can I tell you what's?
I've never been to Fonuts.
What is that?
Okay, Fonuts is vegan, gluten-free donuts, and I'm not vegan nor gluten-free, but they taste like they make them they're very rich. So they're incredibly sweet, but they taste like a very good cake. I don't like cake that much. It's the way to make me like cake.
Yeah.
It's a cake-like donut that's delicious. So good.
Yeah, it's very good. I like Fonuts. I think vegan donuts 9 times out of 10 better than standard donuts.
Wow.
And here's my theory as to why. My theory as to why is this. With a regular donut, you just sort of like, for most of them, it's like one of these places is like, give me 50 classic and like 50 maple bars and they order it from like, whatever. And a lot of them most donuts in LA come from one of 3 of the same commercial bakeries. And it's all about how close they are to the bakery and how early you are in the day when you get there as to whether the donut is good or not. So with vegan donuts, they either have to make them specially themselves or get them from a more specialty place. And so I think more attention is paid to the preparation of the donut.
That's a good theory. That's a very interesting theory. Sabrina, I'll take you to Fonuts.
Okay.
Fonuts is really good. Absolutely go to Fonuts.
But can we also take a moment to appreciate a classic Krispy Kreme?
Yeah,
They
of
make
course.
them fresh. You see them make them.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Can I tell you what the tiniest silver lining was during the pandemic? The tiniest silver lining was if you went and you got your vaccination or your booster and you went to a Krispy Kreme, they'd just give you a donut. They were just like, here you go, buddy. It was like
doing your part.
It was like being a kid and going to the dentist, and then afterwards the dentist has like a little bag of like shitty dollar store toys.
Yeah, or like bringing your report card to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, did they have? Okay.
What?
So Chuck E. Cheese,
you could free tokens if you brought in A's. Like if you got any A's on your report card, you would get a certain number of free tokens per A.
I think you would get like 2 for an A and 1 for a B or something like that. But the other one, y'all might be too young, but did you do Book It? Pizza Hut Book It?
No.
What's that?
Pizza Hut Book It was if you brought in a book, you read a book, and you would prove to your teacher that you read the book, and your teacher would give you a gold star. And if you got 5 gold stars, you could go to Pizza Hut back when Pizza Hut was cool, and it was a dine-in experience.
Oh.
And you could like get a free personal pan pizza, anyone you wanted, for reading 5 books. And as a nerdy kid, I was at Pizza Hut multiple times a week. I was eating the grease.
That sounds so good.
I know. Jelly PB is saying exactly what I said when I was a kid. It was like, you're telling me I get to read and get pizza?
That owns.
That's a good deal.
I was a homeschool kid though.
That's
So
true.
it could have still been happening and I might have just completely missed it. Because like there was no teacher to give that to me. Even with the Chuck E. Cheese thing, I went to public school for kindergarten and first grade. So I got to experience a little bit of the Chuck E. Cheese thing. But from that point on, I didn't get report cards.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
So I couldn't, even if I did well. Sucks. They don't recognize my mom's authority. And neither do I.
Yeah. Art school is a trade.
Because like with homeschool, it's just a matter of like you like passing those packets of tests, right? And
Yep.
that's it.
Yeah, essentially.
Well, it's
And it's
still
like,
hard work.
there's so many different versions of what homeschooling looks like. And I went through most of them at some point during my childhood. But some are like, oh, you just turn in things to a teacher. And they're like, I don't give a shit. It looks like you're doing schoolwork. Great. Piss off. You sent me 3 pages for the last month. Close enough. You probably did school. And then there's the ones that are completely just like testing based.
Yeah. And then there's also, you know, here in LA, there are the ones that are like, hey, my kid is homeschooled because they're in the industry. And then there are the ones that are like, hey, my kid is homeschooled because I don't believe in science, which were the ones that I grew up with in Florida.
I was the homeschooled for the entertainment industry side.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
but I had a lot of friends. I remember I had a friend in high school, one of my dearest friends, knew him for years. And then one day, literally during senior year, he dropped that he didn't believe in dinosaurs. He dropped that dinosaurs weren't real. And I was like, shit, we're not friends anymore.
That's a bomb drop, man.
I was like, this sucks. I was like, it sucks that we're not friends anymore.
That does
Did you
suck.
try to convince him?
I did. I asked him a lot of questions. He had a lot of evangelical answers for them. And what's funny is his little sister was homeschooled. He wasn't. So they got more religious as he got older. And so he got more indoctrinated into it. And I was just like, well, what do you do in science class? He's like, I do what they tell me to do, which is keep my head down and give the answers that I need to give to get good grades, but know what the truth is.
Woo!
That's scary. I know a lot of people who do approach school that way too, and in college as well. Like conservatives, like if they know that their professor is like to the left of wherever they are, then they'll just give the answer that they think that their professor, you know, wants to.
You mean the
hear.
correct answer?
Yeah.
You mean the correct answer is what you mean.
Well, no, what they think
Yeah.
is the correct answer, but really they, in their head, they believe something
No,
else.
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
No.
But yeah, the correct
wild.
Oh man.
How did we get here? What was the favorite we started on?
I think it was Montaigne.
It was. How did we get here from Montaigne?
Baby, if you can connect the dots, you win a no prize.
It's like that person who does the speed runs of getting from one thing on Wikipedia to another. Have y'all seen those?
Oh yeah. Or the map guy.
Yeah.
The map guy on TikTok
The
owns.
Wikipedia ones is they'll pick 2 topics. Like a commenter can pick 2 completely unrelated topics. So they'll be like, I want you to get from Mother Teresa to Chewbacca. And without typing anything in, they will click through the like links on the Wikipedia page that take you to like, oh, okay, well, if you're clicking on Chewbacca, you can click on A New Hope. And then from there, you can keep clicking through things until he can get himself to Mother Teresa.
But Mother Teresa to Chewbacca is easy because Mother Teresa was at the premiere of Star Wars.
Right.
She watched Star Wars. She was in line for it like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
She loved it. She was one of those people in the 70s.
Well, we did one of those. Okay, great. Well, Sabrina, what's another favorite thing of yours from the year?
I think you saw her a few minutes ago. I know we were talking about dogs, but I was talking about my dog, Eva. She's snoozing behind me right now. But she is 13 years old. And I'm quite proud of keeping something alive that long. Plants don't stand a chance. My dog, she gets anything and everything.
That's incredibly impressive, honestly.
A beautiful senior lady. We love it.
A mature lady.
A mature lady.
A mature lady.
Dagger is also mature. Dagger is
How old is Dagger?
Dagger's 15.
He is great.
He's an LA dog.
And
He's in the industry. He takes care of himself.
Dagger
little-
also got
little
hit by a
Botox.
truck this year.
Dagger got hit by the same truck I did. Dagger was on the back of my bike, on the back of my Vespa, and he got hit.
And he was...
What?
He was fine.
Okay.
He walked away.
Y'all,
Oh, thank God.
I went to retrieve the dog from said accident. I was like, oh no, hand me the dog. I run to a dog vet. I hand them the dog and I say, I don't know, he was hit by a truck. I'm sobbing, and I'm trying so hard to keep it together, not scare Dagger more. So I'm just like, I'm concerning crying. You know, where like your face is trying to be cool, but your face is streaming with tears. Where you're like, yes, everything's fine. Please take the dog. This woman calls me and goes, he was what? And I was like, hit by a truck. And she's like, in a car? And I was like, straight to truck. And she said, he's fine.
You know, farm to table, it was straight to truck. And he was on, and some of you BBs have heard this, but he's fine. Obviously, you just saw him. But he also, he was in a dog carrier that was specially made for the back of motorcycles and scooters. And then in that, he's in a harness that's connected by like 2 wires. Mm-hmm. So he's basically like, he's in like the space camp chair almost, you know, where he's just suspended and fine. And so like when it hit, he was like totally cool. He was more protected than I was.
Absolutely.
Clearly. I just went flying. My shoes came off my feet. But
Did they really?
Yeah. Went flying off my feet. They found him 10 feet away from me. So, but tell us more, Sabrina, about this beautiful lady.
Look at her. That was when I took her to Buca de Beppo. She had her real Lady and the Tramp moment. She... Look at her face.
That's when I took her to Buca de Beppo. Can you take dogs in Buca de Beppo?
They let me. It was outdoor seating.
Okay.
Yeah, the one kind of like by the Grove, right there. She behaved well. She's got table manners. She's very much kind of like a Dagger in the sense where she kind of wants to be the only dog. She wants to, you know, she's got her boundaries for sure. I think she might have a little bit of sundowners because at night she's just like a different dog, not in a bad way, but just she enforces her boundaries even with me. Like if I'm sleeping and I just even move my leg and it moves the blanket that's touching her, she gets angry.
Dagger too. When we're out, he's the friendliest, happiest dude in the world. He loves everyone. But when we get home, he's like, Sabrina,
depression?
Sabrina, I had to get a longer couch because my couch was too short. He wouldn't sit on the couch if I was on the couch. He would be splayed out on the couch. And if I sat on the couch, he would just get up and look at me like, you fucking guy, and just go to his bed. Even though I wasn't touching him, I would try to sit as far away from him on the couch as possible. I literally got a longer couch just so he would sit on the couch with me.
Yeah.
Because I know he likes being on the couch, but doesn't like being near me.
No. It's just after a certain, like when the sun goes down, I feel like is when it happens. Or when they're just like tired and they they're ready to go to bed and you're not.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Everybody's like,
Sundowners.
I want him in my lap. I want to hold him. And he's like, if you touch me, I will scream. But he won't scream. He doesn't actually scream. He goes into like a silent panic attack. But like, he genuinely is just like, I don't want to be on your lap. I don't want to be next to you. I don't want you touching me. I have my own space. I know what I like.
Yeah, they know their boundaries, and you know what? We could all take a page out of, Dagger's book, Eva's book. And
Healthy boundary setting. It's important. So he used to sleep in the bed all the time. All he would want to do would be like be in the bed, be a cuddler, be all this stuff. And then one day got him a dog bed and didn't let him sleep in the bed anymore because he has a delicate tummy. And so he would sometimes throw up in the bed.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he pooped the bed.
No, he would throw up in the bed, and then also they have bad knees as they get older, Pomeranians. And so it was like, I don't want him wanting to jump up and down off the bed when he's old, so let's get him used to having his own bed.
You could get him stairs.
I know. And I probably will. But here's the thing. The moment I gave him his own bed and he understood that he could have his own space, he no longer wanted to be near me ever again. He was just like, and now if you even try to get him up into the bed, he comes up in the bed. He's like, hey, man, how are you? Yeah, you wanted me up here? Okay, I'm going back. I followed your orders.
Yeah.
I know I have to.
Okay. So 13 years. Do you have any pro tips for the BBs in the live studio audience for 13 years?
Pay those extra dollars for the higher quality food. Take them to the vet often. Do like those blood panels just to keep monitoring. And just so you can always like have, even if they're healthy, so you have something to like go off of in the future, so that way they can compare it to, this is what her levels and stuff look like when they were healthy. So it's really good to keep track that way. Give them lots of exercise. I try to walk my little lady like 2 to 3 times a day. That makes a huge difference. And don't leave them alone too long. Like, cats can totally be independent and on their own. You can leave whenever. They're usually pretty good. But dogs, you probably shouldn't leave them alone for, in my opinion, for more than a few hours at a time. I think it's
Pro tips for 13 years.
Especially after.
That's why I don't have a dog. I can't.
No, you.
Cats are able to do that. Exactly. My cats, I also have 2, so they have each other as well. That's the perfect balance. They want to play with each other much more than they want to play with me, realistically. Yeah. So I can be gone all day, or I can be like, hey, I'm traveling for the next 48 hours and the automatic feeder is on, and they don't give a shit.
You'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. You are a cat person.
I'm a cat person.
You are a cat person. You're always out and doing stuff.
Yeah. I love dogs. I know that I would not be a good dog owner at this time.
I love having my dog as an excuse to leave somewhere.
Yep.
God, it's so nice.
Yep.
And it's real. It's real. I do have to leave to take care of the dog, but also, God, I love that I have an out no matter when I need one. It's so good.
I hear that's like one of the perks of parenthood, like human parenthood too. Like, sorry, I got kids, I got the family at home. I mean, there's pros and cons, sure, but that's one of the pros I hear.
Yeah, one of the 2 pros are you can leave anywhere you want, and their tiny hands can clean areas that yours can't, and you can just put them to work with their tiny hands.
Yep.
True.
Saige?
Yes.
What is your final fave of the year? Is this final faves?
This is my second fave.
Second fave?
This is my second fave. We gotta hustle.
What's your second fave?
My second fave is a TikTok creator that also has a great podcast, Madeline Pendleton.
Oh, is this there are a couple that you've told me about, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusions.
I'm probably going to spell it wrong until I pull it up. Okay.
Oh, no, this is the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, so Madeline Pendleton, I talk about her on my stream all the time. A fantastic, just like, hi, I was raised incredibly poor and ended up a very informed communist small business owner. That's fantastic, owns the clothing brand Tunnel Vision. And she just answers questions for the most part on her TikTok. The podcast Pick Me Up, I'm Scared does deep dives into like leftist points of view on things like food production or the CIA. And it's just like they let people pick a topic and they're like, hey, let's hear about how fucked up this shit is on primarily American issues as
she runs her business as a worker co-op, right? Like everybody gets paid kind of equally.
So everyone gets paid fully equally, and they talk about that a lot. That's one of the things that I love because I own this small business. So she talks about the fact that she is technically the boss. She is the owner of the company, but everyone makes the exact same take-home pay. So even if somebody is part-time, for instance, you make the same amount as everyone else made that day. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. Everything is run by like a committee and like board system for decisions to be made. I don't have it pulled up. You'll have to.
Oh, okay. I don't need it. I just wanted to show the BBs so they saw what her profile looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. So whether it's TikTok or it is her podcast, I highly recommend. I'm a more informed person, but also my favorite part about it is it's like not based on it has as someone who was raised poor, it has a good scrappy mentality that I enjoy of all of her content. I'm a big fan of the kind of content creator that's going to say like, hey, lie on your rental application and here's how.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of shit like that. It's like great poor people survival skills that like I had really wished that I had when I was like moving out of the house and trying to figure it out. Like my base level example is like, I was a food stamps kid and I learned nothing about money. So she's incredibly informed on money from the experience of having none. And it's the only way someone's ever talked about money that I was able to sit through.
Well, and it's also not the standard philosophy of money, which is like, when you think about like, oh, well, I don't have a lot of money. How do I learn about money? You get like the same extremely capitalist 5 talking points from everybody, which is like, okay, well, you need to save up X amount. And then once you've saved up X amount, you put X amount into this stock or this investment or this. And it's just like, or it's the rich dad, poor dad shit. It's all this like, how do I go from nothing to being wearing a monocle and a top hat? And it's like, well, what if I don't want to wear a monocle and a top hat and I don't believe that your advice is going to get me there anyway?
Right.
How do I live in a way that I find is ethical and comfortable?
So it's pretty good financial advice. Again, this is not like a professional financial advisor, so like, you know, mind yourself on that. But I'd always rather take a financial conversation from someone who believes in a non-monetary economy, personally. But it's like, hey, I'm realistic that we do live in capitalism and you do still have to navigate and survive it. Like, here's my ideal world. Here's what I'd love for us to have to do. I don't think you should have to buy your food, but since you do, let's talk about the ways that you can and like budget foods, buying a house. There's a bunch of information that she has on like buying a house and as a low income person, because she was able to buy hers on like, I want to say like making like $30,000 a year.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about like FHA loans and things like that. And like there are ways to get, but also I just want everybody to know, I want Sabrina to know that everybody in chat is saying also you can steal from a Walmart.
Thank you.
Which is one of her things.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah, she has a video where it's like, you can steal from Walmart.
But you gotta be a little bit more careful and more discreet because their camera systems will just like be aware of your identity when you steal, and then they'll like keep a list of how much you've stolen, and then after you've hit like a certain amount, they'll like try to hit you with the higher charge.
Yeah, they'll get you for grand larceny. Yeah. That's in Minecraft. Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
a term that we've adopted on my stream where if you're going to say something illegal, just say you're doing it in Minecraft.
Yeah, in a video game.
Yeah. You can steal from Walmart in Minecraft. Totally agreed. So that's one of my favorite things this year is feeling a little less overwhelmed by how money work, but not having to listen to some fucking like dude bro explain it to me.
Yeah. My second thing is just TikTok. It's just TikTok in general. I love TikTok.
Wow.
All I do now is communicate via TikTok. I do not send messages to friends. I simply send a TikTok, and all you need to do is send a TikTok to me in return.
Yeah.
TikTok is my favorite show. TikTok is my favorite movie. TikTok is it's like Vine if everybody hadn't been so fucking stupid on Vine. Like, there's a lot of really funny stuff on like Vine was always really funny, but was like incredibly dumb in a lot of ways. TikTok is like funny, and then it'll be somebody like Madeline Pendleton, right? Or it'll be like super funny, and then it'll be somebody who's like sharing like amazing advice about their career, or like psychiatrists or psychologists, or
The algorithm is scary, but the algorithm work.
and God, nothing makes me laugh more than a TikTok.
Yeah.
If you send me, like, I just love when I get sent a TikTok. That's all.
You must
TikTok.
have a good algorithm then, because there's definitely a lot of real stupid shit on there still.
Oh, there's dumb shit. There's dumb shit, but there's enough smart shit to balance it out. Whereas like the smartest person on Vine was like making a good pun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the smartest person on Vine. And most people on Vine were like, I don't know, what if I like hooked a stun gun up to my roommate's nipples when he was sleeping? Like that was Vine, you know, like that kind of shit. TikTok definitely has a lot more smart stuff, and that's what I like about it. I do.
It has a lot of smart
Anthony.
stuff,
That's-
but then
sorry, I
because
thought-
there is the presence of smart stuff, a lot of like misinformation. Like I love following like doctors and nurses and stuff. I love getting like the inside scoop on that kind of stuff. But then there's also like other people who get like mixed into the algorithm who have like no medical background, and they'll just be spewing very bad medical advice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because people will rely on TikTok for some things. It gets bad. Is that your TikTok?
This is my likes. I want to show you a couple of my likes because TikTok is amazing.
We're just gonna play TikToks?
Just one or two. These are some of my favorites of the year. I've curated them to the top of my feed.
We are.
Okay, Anthony.
Kevin!
Whoa, I bet he can get anyone he wants.
Still no bitches.
Dude, Josh Peck stole that and redid it.
Yes, he did.
But worse.
Yes, he did.
Damn.
Famous people often steal good TikToks from people who are not famous.
Hate that.
I have a theory that Lil Nas took one of my TikToks that did very, very well because he redid it. And it did well because he's Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
But it was about when you enter somebody's Instagram live, and you know, like when you enter somebody's Instagram live and they have like no other viewers in there, and you're like the only one, and you just feel awkward about like, shit, should I stay? And then finally when somebody else comes in, you leave right away so you could feel okay. He like redid that, and I was like, did Lil Nas X redo my TikTok? Probably.
But
It's very funny. But hey, and it's one of those things too where people will be like, oh wow, congrats. And you're like, no, you stole my shit.
no, he stole it. No, he stole
my
it.
shit.
At least like it's validating that, oh, I did have a funny, relatable idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually what happens with stuff like that, the smallest silver lining is there'll be enough people in the comments that call it out, and then sometimes you get some new people from it.
Yeah.
But,
But
my
they're
favorite.
doing that for Kevin. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about TikTok are these the interactivity of it. So like the stitches or the duets and things like that. This guy is one of my
section.
Yeah, this guy is one of my. He shows up everywhere. He's just this fitness guy who stands with a cup of coffee and tells you to go to the gym. And my favorite thing is like the people who have been responding to him.
Go to sleep right now.
No.
Turn this phone off. I am so upset with you right now. Go to bed.
Leopold.
Recover. Go to bed.
That's fucking funny.
TikTok. That's all I want to say.
It's just TikTok.
TikTok got me through the pandemic and through everything. I think more than anything or anything else could have.
Yeah.
It's just so fun, and it's so fun to see like how much creativity there is, and just also see people are just so good at catching the funniest, weirdest moments of their own lives, even if they aren't like comedians or know how to make videos.
Yeah.
There's just dumb shit there, and I love it so much.
This is
TikTok.
the nicest conversation I've had about TikTok.
Yeah.
Just somebody genuinely praising it.
And it's rare. And it's hard because it's like, we all feel that way when we're watching it.
Yeah. All of us. That's why we're there.
Look,
For hours.
look, there's a lot of like you're saying, TikTok is being used to spread a lot of misinformation, just like a lot of like basically all other social networks are.
True.
TikTok is being used, they're collecting data. What about your privacy? And it's like, man, there are
Facebook,
87
Instagram.
different things that do that to me every day. This one is the one that makes me happy while it does it.
Yeah, no, that's
Excellent
fair.
This one's the one that makes me happy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Reaper's My Money Don't Jiggle, Jiggle, It Folds. Like, come on.
Oh God, I forgot about that song. That one can stay dead.
Yeah, that's fair. We're past it. It lived its life.
It's lived its life.
The one that's killing me is we're getting this YouTube pre-roll right now where it's advertising for YouTube Shorts and like an end of the year, like, wow, look at everything that happened on YouTube this year. And they keep using the Corn Kid song. And I'm like, that was a TikTok trend.
You know what? Obviously. So YouTube Shorts, like they're desperately trying to compete with TikTok. All the platforms are. Like I'm in this like Shorts program, and they wanted all of their creators in that program to do something called Shortsmas, where you post a YouTube short every single day in December, including like Christmas and New Year's Eve. For nothing. I asked, I was like, hey, is there any sort of like additional compensation? Will like the rates be higher CPM, anything? And they were like, we'll send you a pillow at the end. I'm like, no, not
Whoa,
gonna.
a pillow?
A pillow! It's
To
like
rest
your
to rest
YouTube.
your weary, tired head after a day of making shorts?
Yep. And the thing is, they kept like, we had this meeting like in November, and they were talking about how you had to use like certain songs because they were trying to manufacture a trend, but all of it was like Mariah Carey, and it's like people are very tired of like Mariah Carey Christmas stuff. Like you can't. They wanted multiple shorts with Mariah Carey, and it's like so.
Not
all
even like
these
a weird
creators-
remix of it.
So
Not even like a.
the weirdest thing about YouTube is YouTube trying to recapture the vibe and like the success of early YouTube and the feeling of early YouTube, like trying to turn Vlogmas, which was a thing that people did voluntarily back in the day, because, you know, it was like, well, I'm on vacation, I'll do Vlogmas, or like, this will be fun for people, it'll keep me busy. And then they're like, what if we do Shortsmas? It's like Vlogmas, but like you do it for us because we asked, because we're a giant company, for nothing. And it's like, no.
At least when people were like, but all my friends are doing it, made more sense.
Yeah, no.
Okay, last things. Now we're finally on the last round. Sabrina, it's all you. What's your
my
final
last
favorite?
thing? Oh, well, I mean, just for this whole year, I've discovered something beautiful called smut novels, and they have changed my life. I'm so much happier. I've found my peace. I'm gravy. I'm coasting.
I mean, it wasn't all peace though, was it? Like,
Oh, well, listen, you have to protect your peace and you have to stand by it. So there was a period of time where I was reading on Twitch, and you know what? Twitch, there's all sorts of content on Twitch, and that's fine. We support each other. Why did I get banned for reading a comedy smut book? Like, nobody was there to get their jollies off, you know? We all having like just a little silly little time, and I got a 3-day ban.
Wow.
that's so wild. That's so, and it was for what? It was for adult content, the ban?
Yeah, the adult content, which is like, excuse me, you have an entire category dedicated to hot tubs, which again, we support, you know, our hot tub girlies and whatnot. But why did I get banned for reading a book?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that it's like, because of how selective they are, and because people can sort of like brigade you, or people don't like you, and so they decide that they can complain about you essentially to support, and then support can shut you down. It's so selective because but it's like, how do you, like what you just did, like, how do I complain about this without being a narc?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing.
No.
You can't.
Like, and that's the thing. Twitch intentionally keeps their terms of service incredibly vague so that we cannot actually operate within it, and so that they can apply it unevenly across the platform. They're like, well, we didn't tell you. You're like, you didn't tell me you couldn't. And they're like, what? But we didn't tell you you could. So, I don't know.
They all try to quote, like, what was it, the Supreme Court thing about porn, where it's like, I'll know it when I see it. And that's what like all censorship tries to like to do, as opposed to actually like nailing down what is allowed and not allowed. Like, I remember when they were doing the hot tubs and pools thing, or like people were streaming live at the beach, and it's like, hey, explain your terms on bathing suits, on feet, on all this stuff. And it's like, well, and they had to codify it because people were pushing it.
Yeah.
But you, in addition to just reading smut on Twitch, like you like have a thing where you talk about smut every week, right? Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. I have a smutty podcast called Smut Talk because we'll read or listen to the books that are trending on Smut Talk TikTok. It's fun. We recently read some Grinch smut actually for the holiday season.
Of course.
His dong is not what you would imagine.
Now, I always thought it would be spiraled like a duck.
You know what? You're not totally wrong. So I was always torn. Like, I always wondered, like, is it like furry all the way, or is it kind of like, does he have like a red rocket, or what's going on? And so in this smut book, it's his fur is, you know, all encompassing, and there's I'm guessing the author was inspired by a device because there were pearls that lit up and circled his dingling like a barber shop a pole.
Or a Christmas tree.
A candy cane.
Yeah.
And his jizz was peppermint flavored.
So the Christmas thing was definitely a self-loathing thing then. His hatred of Christmas.
Oh, well, yeah. In this particular book, he like controlled whether people liked or disliked Christmas by like controlling the magic around them. And this one woman, this Christmas store was doing so bad, and it's because there was a Grinch there, and she's like, I have to f the Grinch in order to save Christmas. And she did. And she did save Christmas.
Oh, true hero.
Hero for our time.
If you had to give somebody like, this sounds like, was this like something that was this like a Kindle? Did you buy this, an ebook, or was this an AO3 thing? Like, what was this?
No, these are published books.
Okay. So these are on the Kindle. Yeah. So what would you say are, if you had to name a couple of faves for people if they wanted to get into the smutty books, what are a couple that you've really loved?
Okay, so there's like a distinction when it comes to smut books. There's the ones that are like pure comedy, like that's the Grinch one that we read, where it's only like maybe 20, 30 pages long, and it's meant to be comedic. Those are fun.
Like a Chuck Tingle.
Heavy though. Yeah, exactly, like Chuck Tingle, which I'm okay. You
I know a lot of things.
Smut? Yeah, I see that. That's great. Yay!
I'm a student of society.
There was another one like that called Conquered by Clippy. You know, the little Microsoft Office.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That was a fun one. So like the comedy ones like that. But if you want something with more of like a story where it's like 90 to 95% story and lore and like 5% smut, then I would check out the A Court of Thorns and Roses series that TikTok is always talking about. That's a good one. That's a good start.
Okay. Well, hey, if you want to get into smut, I've never read a smut. Maybe I'll read a smut.
Read the Clippy one.
That's where to start. Okay,
that's a good start.
I will do it. I will do it for you.
Saige, what's your final fave?
It's a very funny transition to this because this was my one that I was like, I guess the communist TikTok was also relatively serious. We didn't get to talk about tabletop games on our games episode, so it's the Blades in the Dark system.
Yeah, everybody loves this.
Most specifically, it's my Blades in the Dark home game. I just, look, especially during the pandemic and all of that, like I had home games beforehand that completely fell off because we couldn't make it work over Discord or Zoom or whatever. It wasn't the same. So this year, for the first time in 3 years, I got to get back into sitting around a table with my friends off camera. And I didn't realize how important that was intrinsically to my soul.
Yeah.
And it's meant the world to me. I play with some of my favorite people. We don't have to play every week. We play when we can. And the Blades in the Dark system is fantastic. If you haven't, Alonzo's always talking about Blades in the Dark as well. It's just such a great system for like teamwork mechanics, which is really interesting. It has an incredibly rich and dark world that you can do a lot with, whether you want to play in something that's like very by the book or just really follow your own shit.
Like we had some friends that turned it into Beyblades in the dark, which was like very fun.
And then there's a bunch of hacks that also exist. Yeah, they would rip Beyblades instead of rolling. They let them rip, man.
That's super fun.
There's other hacks of it. Like, I think you would really enjoy Scum and Villainy.
I do like Scum and Villainy, yeah.
Scum and Villainy is a Blades in the Dark hack where instead of being in just like, hey, we have a base of our operation, it is your ship, and you can play it like Star Wars, you can play it like Star Trek, you can play it like Firefly. Overall, it's very fun, and it has a lot of the things that I think Dungeons and Dragons lacks in ways to work together and assist each other, and ways that like encourage you to like get into the nitty gritty of the role play instead of the rules, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
So
Blades in the Dark.
Favorite. And I love it. And my home game has also been a huge part of preserving my sanity this year.
Yeah. Social stuff is important, y'all. Even if you go to the dog parade, it's still important to go do social stuff.
Yeah, even if you go to the dog parade, it doesn't quite cut it for your socialization for the week. It feels like it might at the time. You might be like, this is it.
This is all I need.
But yeah, just somewhere I can bring snacks to for friends and sit at a table or pace around a table for like 6 hours straight. Very good.
Is that how long the campaigns are? 6 hours?
It can be.
It depends. It's totally up to you. So when you're running an adventure, it's like, hey, we can either get as far as we want because we know we're picking up and continuing. You can get to a place where you're like, hey, this feels like a good ending point. But a lot of the time with home games, we'll end up like ordering in lunch and we'll like take a minute for lunch or we'll eat while we play. And a lot of the time it is like a 6 hour session where we all snack and eat, and a lot of it'll be broken up.
Yeah, like my home D&D when we're able to get together is like maybe 2 hours of actual gameplay, and then just like around that is just 2 hours of just fucking around and catching up, which is nice.
Dude, before Failed Save, there was a home game that Vince Casso ran, and our record was, I think we did a 12-hour day.
Whew.
We ordered in multiple meals because we would meet up for brunch while we played D&D. We would all make brunch together in Vince's kitchen. We would all cook breakfast.
In character. And they would have to roll dice as they were cooking.
We were making rations. If you want to carry bacon, that's encumbrance. But it's a very good time, and it's just 12 hours with friends, and then there's D&D is the thing you're doing together. But our record was 12.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
That's fun though. If you're having like a consistently fun time, that's when it's the memorable ones.
It's so good. Man, Anthony, what's your last thing?
Well, in all honesty, it's my Steam Deck.
Okay.
All I do is play with my Steam Deck. But if I want to do one that's better for the show and for the bit, I got this book of drill tweets.
Oh my god! You had that ready.
Drill.
It's been there since before the show started.
The greatest to ever do it. The champion of the art form. The master. The legend. He has 4 books out. It's the same 10,000 tweets in every book, but they're all organized differently. The one I have is Drill Beloved, which is all of his tweets organized by number of faves. So most favorited tweet to least favorited tweet.
I feel like this is a good memorial for Twitter.
This reminds me of when the internet was fun and Twitter was for stupid, dumb jokes and nothing else. That's what Twitter was about. Twitter was about dumb, surrealist humor.
It's a different time.
I love Drill. And here's the thing, even if you don't know who Drill is, you know his tweets. You know I spent $3,000 on candles. You know that. That's a Drill tweet. You know, I'm not owned, I say, as I shrink down and turn into a corn cob. You know that. You know Drill tweets.
I follow them. I just looked it up right now. I'm like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. Who's that actor in his picture?
Single L. Okay.
I always thought it was like a weird Jack Nicholson type guy, but not actually Jack Nicholson.
Oh, it's not. Okay, I just assumed it was like a fried meme of him or something.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But listen, if you want these books, Drill is selling them right now, and they are like $14, and they're perfect.
Yeah, he's promoting them right now. Good for him.
Saige just found one that she enjoys.
I did just find one that I enjoy.
It's impossible not to with Drill. It's impossible not to. He's the greatest to ever do it.
So
wow, that's a strong sell, Anthony. This is, you think it's funny to see a man transform into a dog? His lifespan will be much shorter now. You're basically laughing at an actual murder.
That's right. Think about it.
What is that referencing?
It's referencing laughing at somebody being turned into a dog by a wizard. Sabrina.
That's all it is.
Silly me.
So that's drill.
That's drill, baby.
I dig it.
But also, because you can't really see it because of the way you were holding up your book, I actually want to show someone else showing the format of this book in a video.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is incredibly chaotic.
It's insane. It is bonkers. It is
Why?
bananas.
What? And you're reading that?
It is literally just, it is not meant to be read. It is meant to flip to and find the first one you see. It is the most chaotically formatted book. It is not organized. Basically, it's 10,000 tweets in a database.
Yeah.
Organized by something and then exported to a text file and then printed into a book. And I love it.
Yeah.
Chaos.
You also, I know we talked about smut books. Do you have a non-favorite smut book of the year, Sabrina?
Oh, I didn't read not smut books this year.
That's fair. If you've got to read a lot for a podcast, that's honestly so fair.
Well, I mean,
It was
for
all smut.
podcasts and for me,
Yeah.
for funsies.
That's very funny, and I love that.
Genuinely, every single book I read this year was a smut book.
I love
But
that
I'm
for
reading.
you.
So glad I
what?
asked.
We're brushing up on our literacy skills, so
You're reading.
A win is a win.
You're
A win is a
doing
win.
it, and genuinely, I'm so happy with that answer. Thank you.
Being honest, gotta be me.
Yeah, because I also, as soon as you pulled that out, I was like, oh shit, I could have picked any of the books that I read.
Could have picked,
Yeah, what did you read?
she reads many books.
You know, this was my year of nonfiction literature. I was always a fiction reader. I had read very few nonfiction books in my entire life, and I went on a big nonfiction feminism and communism kick in the last year or two. So I think that my favorite was The Politics of Reality by Marilyn Frye. It's essays in feminism. I also think Hood Feminism is up there. They were both great, both good books.
Yeah. I went deep into economy this year, economy and capitalism, because how could you not?
Yeah.
And both of my favorite ones were from Verso Press, which is a leftist press. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of great stuff. They have a children's book called The ABCs of Socialism, which is very good. You should get it. But my two favorite from them, one is called The Corona Crash, which actually came out the beginning of last year, and it here's what's going to happen to the economy.
Yeah.
And it's all come true.
Yeah.
And so it's preparing for this, seeing what it's going to be like over the next 10 years, finding out why and what the systems are behind it. And it's a small read. But the other one is one that you actually noticed when, you remember I fought a truck?
Yeah,
and you would have to come over to my house because I couldn't stand. The truck was in worse shape. Don't worry. The truck has never stood up on its hind wheels and never will. Now that I'm done with it, but you came over and there was one on my table called Capitalism in the Sea, which is really good, and it was especially interesting with all the supply chain stuff that's going on, finding out how just shipping and boats and cargo has been connected, and the laws behind it have been connected to the entire world economy in ways that you don't even realize throughout our entire lives. And even things just here's why if a port gets backed up, an entire city can go down in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right now.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say my book choices were less terrifying. The other one I would recommend is On Tyranny. On Tyranny was excellent. It's anher piece of
On Tyranny is really good.
But that's all I read this year.
These suggestions down.
My favorite work of literature was this drill tweet that says, "How do I get cowboy paint off a dog?"
I think that
How does he write these things? Oh my lord.
Let's find that real quick. I think that the reason I got so into non-fiction, specifically socialist, communist, and feminism literature, was exactly what you were saying earlier of we cannot rely on the internet for these things, and so much of my education has been on the internet, especially as someone who was homeschooled, and it was one of those where I was just ooh, I have a lot of things I believe in. Let me go ahead and actually make sure I properly understand the fundamentals of what I believe in.
Codify these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hood feminism is a great pillar for that, in that it talks about the ways that feminism lacks and is often commonly represented by white women, and how oftenly feminism is exclusively, and the things that we argue for feminism is exclusively arguing them for white women, and the way it can be exclusionary and leave literally all other women behind. So it was really, really fantastic in like, hey, what can we do? What aren't we doing? And how did this happen?
Yeah.
It was really great for that. But yeah, okay, those are the little honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. I do want to mention while we're on this sort of thread. One of my honorable mentions runners up is something that you've been involved with, Sabrina, which is Means TV. Means TV, which is like the leftist broadcasting company that's completely audience supported. They do a daily news show. They do documentaries. They do series. They have a cartoon called Papa and Boy, which cracks me up so much. And Teenage Stepdad, who you may know from Instagram, who makes like all of the weird advertisements that look like 80s advertisements, but they're anti-capitalist. Teenage Stepdad has a series on Means TV about like how to control memes and like use them for politicizing things. It's
Seize the Memes.
Yeah, Means TV is wonderful. And it was so cool when I saw that you were doing stuff with them.
I'm very proud. I'm technically part of the co-op. They are a co-op. I like them very much. They're extremely transparent. I have voting rights, and so like multiple times a year we have like these check-in meetings, and then we vote on like certain positions. And I love it. That's how I learned about Crackhead Barney as well. She makes content for Means TV.
I've seen some of the Man on the Street stuff. Yeah,
this is very cool. I wasn't previously aware of this, so I'm very excited to get on and check some of this out.
They also have a program because they are anti-capitalist. They have a program if you can't afford a membership, or they have a pay what you can, and so you can email them and you can just be like, hey, is it cool if I just pay you this, or is it cool if I can't pay for the next 6 months, but I want to watch this stuff? And they just say yes.
Yes.
They don't give you any static.
Asked. It's not means tested. It's Means TV. Or if you happen to, be a little bit of a fat cat and you do have an extra, few bucks around, you can pay more per month to support the co-op and the streaming service. So I love and I respect them so much, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. I love Means TV.
That's so cool. All right.
Sabrina, you're pretty cool.
You're pretty cool. We think you're very cool. Thank you for coming on and chatting with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It is quite early, so I might go back to bed.
Sure.
We encourage it.
Sabrina, we know that you stream, you have your podcast, where can people keep up with everything that you're doing?
Yes, so my username for everywhere and everything is always just my name, Abelina Sabrina, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram. My podcast is called Smut Talk, if you would like to have a listen, available wherever you listen to your podcasts. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys. This is so fun.
You can also catch her on the Grinch's lap until January 17th when Grinchmas is over.
Yeah, and that's when he turns into Bigfoot, and that's a whole other story.
I'd love to hear that story. But we will save it for another time. Everybody, we're going to take a quick BRB while we say goodbye to Sabrina. We will be back to wrap things up. We will see you in just a second. Hello, we return.
Welcome to the Citadel of Eternal Wisdom. Behold, this crystal contains the sum of all human knowledge, except rap and country. Drill! The greatest to ever do it!
Absolutely fantastic. Well, as Sabrina mentioned, y'all were very supportive during the show. So we're going to go through and we are going to thank everybody who supported us during the show. But first and foremost, the best thing you can do, hey, if it's your first time here, follow the channel, stick around, come back and see us another time. We do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except for this coming Monday, the 26th, we are taking off. We're gonna take one day off for the holidays. Just one day off.
One day.
And then we'll be back. We'll be back on Wednesdays, BBs. So come and see us at 8 a.m. You can also catch the VODs on YouTube. If you miss it here, you might be watching it on YouTube right now. If so,
what's up?
Hey.
How are you?
How you doing?
Thanks for subscribing to the YouTube. We really appreciate that.
You can join the Discord. It's completely free to do. You can follow us on TikTok, where you were talking about people posting those highlights. We post tons of highlights from It's Too Early and other shows on TikTok. We are at PixelCircus on
so
TikTok.
many.
And it's good stuff. You should check it out and you should follow us there. The Discord is completely free to join, but what's not free to join is our Patreon. But it's worth it and it's cool because, hey, you're supporting a small independent business that's really trying hard to rent a space, and it turns out spaces are a little hesitant to rent to a place when it's just the two women walking in and saying, hi, we make internet videos. So we're trying to figure out how to navigate that.
Here's what's wild. Imagine how much money it is just to have a space for sleeping in. then has to be a space for multiple people to do a workings in. What are they going to charge for that?
So, help us get a studio. That's cool of you. We wrote about all of the new Patreon tiers. They have not been unveiled yet officially. So you can tell us, you can go read, and we told you all about the things that you're going to get. But those formally start on January 1st. We wanted to give you enough time to peruse your options since things are going to be changing. So all of that is available on patreon.com/PixelCircus. Check out the different ways that you can support and get something for it.
And as you may know, all of your Patreon money goes to the network as a whole, as do your subscriptions here on Twitch, but your direct donations go to me and Saige, which is money that we use to feed our animals and ourselves and have that place where we can go to sleep at night.
We will catch you on Wednesday next, unless you're a patron.
Ooh.
Which means we will see you right after this. Anthony, where else will they see you in the meantime?
Oh, my stars and garters. Thank you for asking, Saige. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on the Twitches, where you can find me at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. You can also find me on my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata. It's called We Have Concerns. That's at wehaveconcerns.com. You see this watch? I got it by crying. See my car? Crying. My beautiful wife? Crying. My perfect teeth? Crying. Now get the fuck out of my office. Drill.
Drill, everybody. From 2012.
From 2012.
Way back.
Best to ever do it. Saige, where are you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, but my schedule's all fucked up right now, so I'm going live today. They dropped a new update for Calico, Anthony.
New Calico just dropped.
There's no new quests, unfortunately, from what I've seen, but they did a graphical update, and they did some new animals, which I'm pretty excited to go and check out. So I'm going to run around in Calico for a little bit this afternoon, evening, and that's it. That's there and here and on the Patreon. I love you all so much. Thank you.